Hello, welcome to our webinar, How to Grow Your List in Constant Contact. Thanks for joining today. If you're a note taker, feel free to grab a pen and paper, but if not, don't worry. We will actually send you a recording of this webinar a little bit later today. So if you'd rather just sit back and watch, that's definitely okay as well. During the session, we're going to spend the first part in presentation mode, kind of talking about some concepts and some tips for how to grow your list. And then we'll have a live demo showing you all the different tools in Constant Contact to set up this list growth strategy. And then we'll have a little bit of time for some Q&A at the end. But before we dive into all of that, I did want to let you know just about all the tools that Constant Contact has to offer because they all really kind of work together to build out your digital marketing plan. So we, of course, have our great looking email marketing campaigns that you can create and send. And then you can automate your email marketing as well and create automated welcome emails, which actually really pair well with list growth. You always want to reach out to people right away after they subscribe. We also have list growth tools. So that's what we're talking about today to grow your list. We'll definitely dig very deep into that. We also have digital ads that you can create for social media. Those can actually help with list growth as well and just get your name out there. Then we also have text marketing. So you can actually send SMS text messages through Constant Contact. Just yet another great channel to stay in touch with your audience. We also have an events platform and more. So we have a lot of great tools and features all in one platform for you and your expert guidance you need to help you succeed along the way. But with all that said, let's dive in. Growing your email list is important because that's really how you're going to get the word out and stay top of mind, engage your audience, and ultimately encourage them to buy from you or whatever your end goal is. So, why does it seem so hard to grow your list? Well, a lot of times businesses just aren't putting an emphasis on asking, or you may not just even know what tools are available for you or haven't put them into place yet. So that's why we're here today. We'll talk about some different strategies for growing your list and then go through those different tools in Constant Contact. And here's more specifically what we're going to cover today. We'll talk about why collecting a permission-based list is important and how to get permission. Then from there, we'll talk about how to entice people to sign up. So there's a little bit of strategy behind that as well. And then we will have that live demo in Constant Contact to show you how to use the tools to grow your list. And just a quick introduction before we fully dive in. My name's Caitlin. I'm a content manager for webinars at Constant Contact. I have been here about 12 years, so I have a lot of experience with the platform and digital marketing. Excited to bring my experience to the session and answer any questions you have today. So I'll be discussing a lot of things, showing you a lot of things, but I'm also here to answer your questions. So if anything comes up, click over to the Q&A tab on the right side of your screen. Type that in. You won't see each other's questions. So if you're not seeing anything over there, that's why. But I'll see all your questions and make sure we can get everything answered. So don't hesitate to ask. Someone might have the same question you do. And I'm happy to make sure you get those answers. But with all that said, let's start and discuss how and why to build that permission-based list of contacts. So I'd like you to start by thinking about the last time you received an email from a sender you didn't know or didn't sign up for. What was your reaction? What did you do with that email? I would imagine a lot of us, first of all, get worried and wonder how they got our email address in the first place. And then from there, delete it, unsubscribe, maybe even mark it as spam. And those are going to be really common reactions for anyone who receives emails that they didn't give permission to send to them. So that's why it's important to make sure you have permission from your audience to email them. They're more likely to engage and you're staying compliant. There are actually laws and regulations around privacy and permission when it comes to email marketing. So, what exactly does that all mean? Well, let's go ahead and take a look at that. There are a variety of ways people can give you permission, but really the best way is just to get them to explicitly say yes to receiving emails from you. Maybe they verbally request it in a conversation, check a box to sign up during a online checkout process, or if they're making a donation, or take action to sign up online through a sign up form. Regardless of how they sign up, they just need to know that they'll be receiving emails from you. So there's various ways to do all of that we can dive into here. But first, I'd like you to think about the last time you signed up for an email list. How did you do it? Maybe for a business, a nonprofit. If you want to even share in the Q&A tab, when was the last time you signed up for a list? What did you do? Maybe you're, checking out on buying something for the holidays and checked a box to be added to their list, or networked with someone, gave them your business card and they reached out to you. I'm just curious what you've experienced in the real world. Let's see. Taylor signed up on a website. Sarah signed up. They were offering a promotion. And Michelle saw something on social media, it looks like, for a business and signed up that way. I'm just reading through all the responses. Yeah, sign up sheet at the register. Several people are saying, I saw a pop-up form on their website as I was researching the business. Josh says he entered a contest. Michelle, Facebook sign up for Constant Contact. Okay, great. Well, those are all things you can keep in mind as you're building your own strategy. And we really kind of categorize the different places to grow your list from in 3 categories: in person, online, and print, which I think are all of the things you mentioned kind of fall into one of those 3 categories. To break that down, first of all, when you're talking about in-person interactions, it's really anywhere you're interacting with current or potential customers or supporters. Maybe when you're accepting donations in person or they're making a purchase at your store, just while you're helping a customer in any way. And then events are a really good place, in-person events, when you're interacting with people. And with that, you could have maybe a paper sign up. People write down their email address and then you enter them into Constant Contact later. Or we even have an app called the List Builder app that you can download on like an iPad or an Android tablet. And then people can type in their email address on there and it syncs over straight to Constant Contact. So those are both in the app stores, whatever platform you use, and something you could try out for those in-person interactions. And then one of the biggest ones is online, growing your list online. There's several places that we recommend that you take the opportunity to ask for those signups. First is your website. There's probably various ways people find you online. Maybe they're researching a business like yours or just visiting to get news that you've posted on your website. People don't stay on websites super long, so you can set up a pop-up form that pops up right away to capture that attention before they leave your site. And then social media is a really big one as well. You can share a link in a post or put something in your bio. We have a sign up landing page you can create in Constant Contact, and then you can just take that link and post it where your audience is. And you're probably using email outside of Constant Contact as well, just to communicate with people. So you could even put a link in your signature and just always have it there at the bottom of all your communications. And maybe just make sure everyone on your staff is doing that to just put that out there through those communications. And then the online sales or donation process, a lot of platforms have that option where people can check a box and then be added to a list. You collect their information and you can get them over to Constant Contact. And then there's also ads. We're not going to dig too deep into this piece today, but you can create a Facebook lead ad where you can upload a list of current contacts that you have, and then it'll actually find a lookalike audience on Facebook and target them with a sign up form for them to sign up to receive your emails. So those are tons of options there, and we'll definitely be digging into some of the tools you can use for that. And then one final option you can think about is print materials, actually. So think about any materials you use, maybe a sign at events or your location, business cards, just flyers, brochures, direct mail pieces. Those are all places you can collect contact information as well. There's a couple ways to do it. You can add a QR code, that sign up landing page I just mentioned. You can actually create a QR code for it in Constant Contact and then print that out. And then we also have something called text to join. So if you're using our SMS text marketing tool, you can set up this text to join option where they can just through text message subscribe for both email and your SMS text marketing list. So those are the three main places to get your list growth strategy started. We will go through some of those tools here in a minute, but right now I want to switch gears and talk about how to actually entice people to sign up to be on your email list. And it is important as you're starting out with that to understand why people subscribe. And there's three main reasons we've kind of identified for why people would subscribe for a list. A lot of people are just looking to receive a promotion or a discount, receive exclusive content, and show support. Maybe they just want to stay up to date with your nonprofit or want to know about new products or things like that. Knowing why your contacts subscribe is important because that's what's going to help you create that strategy and apply that to all the different channels we talked about for asking for those signups. And there's a few other things to keep in mind as you're thinking about how you want to entice people to sign up. And one thing to note is people might have some objections as well. And so these are things you'd want to address up front, like they might be worried how often you'll send to them, or even about their privacy, or are they going to have the option to opt out? So these are expectations you'll want to set up front. Put it in the description of your sign up form or in the conversation that you're having. If they understand how often you'll be sending, then that helps quite a bit. And then Constant Contact sign up forms actually put a little bit of fine print for you on there that addresses privacy and opt out. Because with Constant Contact, you may already know people can unsubscribe very easily. So we make sure to address those opportunities for them if they're concerned about that. Also, make sure the sign up process is easy for everyone. So you could even do it for them if there's an opportunity for you to do that. They won't forget, and then you'll collect their information right away. And you don't want to ask for too much information up front. You, of course, need their email address. Having their name can be helpful as well, but then maybe just ask for one or two other pieces of information. You can always ask for additional information from them later down the line. Make it conversational is another thing to do. Just make sure your tone is sounding like you're talking directly to them. Add value. So they need a reason to join your list. So let them know what that is. And these are just a few good ground rules as you're starting out once again to really promote those signups. So, with these tips and best practices in mind, here's a few examples we can look at for how different businesses are using these sign up opportunities. So, for example, a retail business could offer some sort of discount or promotion to get them to sign up and make that purchase. The example here is Southside Cycling. They're asking people to sign up to get a 15% off discount for their next purchase. And then the little description on this form lets subscribers know they'll be receiving exclusive access to discounts and resources in the future. And it does address how often they'll be sending to them. And people always like to hear that because they want to make sure you won't be sending an email to them every day. And then for a nonprofit organization, you could ask people to show their support and help you make a difference. In this example, they're providing a valuable resource for people signing up, and then that helps their subscribers and themselves as well grow their own list. And then for a business to business company, something you could do is offer exclusive content. So this example here is from French Consulting. They're offering a free ebook called 10 Essential Steps to Growing Your Business on Social Media. And then the form also lets subscribers know they'll receive future emails and what those emails will be about, which is how to market their business. And it also notes they'll receive no more than 3 emails a month. So these are just a few ideas to get you thinking. Your business might be a slightly different industry. So take these ideas and start to think about how you could use them for your own business. But now we can move on. We have some ideas, we have some tips. Let's actually go into our live demo and I'll show you the different tools you have access to and how to set them up. So I'll hide my camera to make the screen bigger so we can see our account here. And I am here on the home page right now, the dashboard. And there's a couple things I'll point out here. First of all, if we come to our audience tab, we have this growth center. So this is where you can kind of go to monitor your growth. And it has a lot of the different tools listed here and some of the sign up forms you've created. And then there is this lead magnet tool. We're not going to dig too deep into this one either. This is a newer tool that allows you to grow your list and learn a little bit more about your followers on social media. We have in the handouts tab on the right side, a link that talks a little bit about that. But what I'm going to focus on today is under channels here. I'm going to go just straight to our sign up forms tab so we can see all the different options here. So the first one I want to start out with, I'm going to go ahead and click create a sign up form. And now here's all the different options. I want to start with this pop-up form. So this is a just little form. You've probably seen it before. You're on a website, you're browsing, and then it pops up. People can fill in their information and you can collect their information right there. So to set that up, I'll click into here and we will just give it a quick name here in the top left. Only you see that name, but it just helps you know what this is. Just save it as a specific name. I'll call it pop-up form. Put today's date, and I think that'll be good there. All right, and then to actually edit it, you just go through each of these steps here on the left. On the right side is a preview of what it looks like. So you can see the background kind of grayed out area. That would be your website. And then this box pops up on top of your website there. So let's go through this. The title, that's going to be this part. It says sign up for updates right now. Maybe I could tweak that a little bit and say, I'm going to copy and paste some things in here to make it quicker. Sign up for news and updates. And this is just, you want to have something short that fits on one line. You want it to catch their attention and just let them know immediately what they're signing up for to help avoid some of those reservations they might have. I would avoid also saying join our list, join our mailing list. I don't think people like the idea of being on yet another list, but they do like the idea of getting news and updates from you. And then you can change the color of the text as well if you want it to match your branding. So if I come here to more colors, I could put in, this is an exact shade of like turquoise we use for the business, and we can have that match. Our website has that color as well, for example. And then let's go back and put in the description. So this is where you can really address how many emails you'll be sending a month, what's the value of them signing up. And so for this one, we'll say sign up for our monthly newsletter so they know they're going to get it once a month and receive a free adoption guide. So that's what we're offering, is this exclusive content. And then I also let them know by signing up, you'll receive updates, learn more about our animals, events, and volunteer opportunities. This is a nonprofit animal shelter that's letting them know they'll get news and this exclusive content, and they'll get it once a month. Contact fields. This is the information you're asking for. And this is where I was saying you don't want to ask for too much information, but definitely make sure you're collecting the information you need. I think first name, at least, is nice to ask for. You can make it required or even optional if you want. Having their name is good because you can personalize emails in whether it's like the body of the email or even the subject line of the email. And it's just good to know the name of the person. So let's just do that one for this, but you can see there's lots of other options, and you can even create custom fields and ask for custom information. But then the next thing will be the email list. So this is just the list they'll be saved to in your contacts. You can create a list right here. We have a ton of lists in our account, probably too many to be honest, but let's find, we'll just have them go into our newsletter sign up list. And then button. So this is just going to be the verbiage on the button, the color. I'm going to say, send me my guide. A nice actionable language there. And we'll make the backgrounds. Let me grab that same color that I used before. There we go. And then finally, you can change the background color. I think you want to be careful what you do there, because you'll see if I make it dark, then some of the text is harder to read. You want to make sure it contrasts well with your website too. So I'm going to just leave it as white, but you could try, if there's something that matches well with your website and your branding, you get that opportunity there. So then once we have it designed here, there are some settings we can look at as well. First is the timing. So this is actually how soon will it pop up on the website for them. I like to give it a little bit of a delay, so you can set it here to be on a timer. Right now it's after 5 seconds. We could go all the way up to 15 seconds. So that gives them some time to browse, find the information they were looking for, and then have it pop up. And then there's also this option you can select, which is exit intent. So it'll sense their mouse moving off the screen, whether you're about to close the page or back out of it or things like that. And then it'll pop up at that point as well, because it looks like you're about to leave. So let's capture their information before they do. And then frequency can be set up as well. It can come up once every 30 minutes. So this would be like if they visit your website throughout the day, they'd probably see it every time they're on there then. That might be a little too much. One time only. I wouldn't do that. If they close out of it, then they'll never see it again. So I think once a day is fine. And that way, if they do miss it when they're on your website, they'll see it on a future time. But with that, we also have devices. Do we want it to show on desktop and mobile or choose between the two? And then there's this constant contact branding. You'll notice here at the bottom, it has the constant contact logo. The package you're in for constant contact depends on whether or not you can hide this. If you're in one of our higher packages, like the premium package, you can do that and then it'll remove it. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to have that logo down there because Constant Contact is known as a reputable email service provider. So if people are signing up through a form that they can see is connected with Constant Contact, that may actually help them be reassured that their information is safe. But otherwise, that's all we need to do there. So now we can publish it now that we're done. And then to actually get this on your website, you'll be provided some code. So that is here, this button, View Universal Code. And it did pop up here at the top for us as well. So this is, you can just copy it to your clipboard from here, and then you would paste that in the appropriate place on the back end of your website. So this is something you could give to your web developer if you have one, or if you know how to do that. This is what you'll use. Right here, it says read our quick install guides. That will take you to, we do actually have a resource that has a lot of the common website providers, and there's instructions in there on how to add it to those. So if you're using one of the more popular platforms like Wix or something like that, you can find some instructions there if you're not quite sure. But that is the pop-up form, so good for websites specifically. Now, the next option I want to show you is that sign up landing page. This one I think is very versatile because you can put it on social media. This is the one with the QR code that you can do, and it's pretty quick to set up. So if I come back to create a sign up form, then we would come here to sign up landing page. And this actually has the same editor as an email campaign. So you may or may not have created an email. If you're taking this webinar, maybe you haven't yet because you need to grow your list first. But either way, the editor's the same. So if we just quickly give this a name, we can always do that first. Sign up form. Just call it something simple. And then on the left here, there's this build tab. So you can click and drag in any of these different blocks. You can add images, and then design is for the color scheme. So you can even brand this to your business. This is going to be like a standalone web page. So you get a link to this. So you want this to match your branding and be recognizable. I would definitely recommend coming to your images and adding in your logo. So you can upload images here and then click and drag. I could just put it on top of this image placeholder. And then now the logo is at the top, and I can adjust the size of it as well. And actually, let's do this one. We're going to do a different business for this one. There we go. And then there's a couple text boxes in here already. So this is where you, once again, address how often you'll be sending, what they're signing up for. Are you offering something? So I like to use this one as kind of the title. So let me grab, I'm going to say sign up to receive updates and promotions. There we go. And then this, you get a lot more flexibility than the pop-up form actually, which is nice. So I can make this bigger and bold it and things like that. I see a question here from Robin. I'm seeing that my form has an old address right above the sign up button. How can I change that? So that's probably pulling in from your account information. Depending on which section you're talking about, if it's down here, This pulls from your account information, and I think anywhere that it's showing an address. So that would be up here when you go into your settings, you can switch it out there, and then it should switch to the correct address. If that still doesn't work, you could always our support team is great at looking into your account for you and giving you tips on how to switch that out as well. But so we have the title, sign up to receive updates and promotions, and then the description. Give me 1 second. All right. I'm going to say, be the first to know about new classes and promotions and receive valuable health tips. Sign up for our newsletter and we'll keep you in the know and send you a free nutrition guide. And with these text boxes too, we have this write with AI option. So if you're not quite sure how to phrase it or just want to kind of polish up the verbiage, you can use that as well. And actually, as I'm looking at this, the free nutrition guide, that's kind of the hook. We actually call that a lead magnet when you're offering something. So maybe I would actually want to say sign up to receive our free guide. I think that might catch their attention a little bit more. All right, moving right along the contact fields here. It has first name, last name, and email address. As you can see, when I'm clicked into this block, this is how I can add to it. So up here at the top are fields I can add. These are also on the left side, and I can click and drag them in if I want to rearrange the order. So if I wanted to ask for their phone number so I can text them, I could click and drag that. Maybe we have it right there. Then you can see how there's this small text here. This is where it's addressing those opt-out concerns. It's letting them know their privacy is protected and things like that. And then maybe we could do birthday as well. We don't want to do too much, as I've been saying, but we could also put something up here in the description, like sign up for a free class on your birthday. And then they put in their birthday, and you can actually set up automated birthday emails in Constant Contact. So it's helpful to explain why you're asking for the information as well, and then they'll be more likely to fill it out. And you can do custom fields as well, ask custom questions. And then also on this screen, you're going to want to select the list again that they go into. So we'll do the same one. But I think that's good there. I don't think we want to add too much more. So let's go ahead and continue. Actually, let me show you the design piece first. I just want you to see, we won't spend a ton of time, but to actually change the colors, you just do that all from here. So if I wanted that blue, and then fonts and buttons and the labels, you can change the font of that. But let's continue. And then once they sign up, they actually get taken to a thank you page that looks like this. So we do want to make some customizations there as well. We could put in the logo again. And then you would just want to customize this verbiage here. And then this is a place you could even add, so that guide that we're offering them, we can definitely put that in a follow-up email, but we could also drag in a button and then actually link to the guide. So they've signed up, they're on this page, they can just download it right away. They don't even have to wait for an email from you. But that looks good, so we'll keep continuing. There's going to be some settings here we can look at. There's a title and description. So the title here is what they would see like at the tab at the top. The description sometimes shows up like if you post this on social media and it adds a little bit of description text there. So I could add something like, let me find the description. This is what I want to say here. Sign up for our newsletter and we'll keep you in the know and send you a free nutrition guide. So it's just kind of the same description that they would see in the preview. the URL. So this, like I said, you'll get a direct link to this form, and you can actually customize the ending part to brand it a little bit. So we could just put Jack's Fitness Club, the name of the business there. And then there's even some more advanced things you can do. You can set an expiration date, add some analytics to track traffic to this page if you use like Google Analytics or Meta Pixel ID. That's pretty advanced stuff there. If you want to hide the page from search engine results. And then this is actually, you can see it's a new feature. If you want to get an email every time someone signs up, you can just check that box. And then you put in the email address you want to get that email at, and then always get notified. But with all that set up, everything's looking good. So now I'm going to activate it. And then this is what's actually going to make that link to this page live. And then, of course, we're going to want to share it. So we can look at a couple ways to actually share this out to people. So here's, once again, that landing page URL. This is something you can copy and paste and put wherever you want. Maybe send it in a text message to people. Although if you already have their phone number, you might not need to collect that information again. But social media is the big one. And you can easily post to social media through Constant Contact by clicking share. And then this connects with Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok. Now, because this is a link, it won't work on Instagram or TikTok either. I don't think links aren't clickable in the captions on those platforms. So that's where you'd want to put it in your bio. And in that case, you would just copy it and put it in like your Instagram bio. But to make a post on Facebook, you would click into that. And we actually have a whole webinar on our social posting tools. So I'll tell you how to get to our webinars at the end. But just to quickly show you, I would choose Facebook. I could add a picture. It already has the link to the landing page in here. So I just want to write a caption, which I can even do that with our content generator here. And then we can post that out. But let's go back. I want to show you there's a couple other ways to share it as well. So back on sign up forms, I can get back to it. It is this one. I want to show you that QR code because I think it's really cool. So if I go to share, QR code there. So this you can download and print out, and then people can sign up on their phones. And then you could share it in an email, you could share it with an ad, or it does have just copy and paste the link as well. All right, well, let's switch gears. I want to show you one more option, which is that text to join I mentioned briefly. So let me come back to sign up forms. And once this loads up, we'll click that. And then here it is, text to join. So this is available to you if you're registered and signed up for our SMS text marketing. If you're in the premium package, that's included in your account. So I definitely recommend setting it up. If not, you can add it on to your plan. We actually have a whole webinar on SMS as well. But the gist of this is it's really written out here in this blue box for you. So you tell your contacts to join my list, text the word join. So they pull out their phone, compose a new message, they write the word join, and then they'll type out their email address and just send it to this phone number. Everyone has their own phone number assigned to them, so yours will be different. So they type that out. It will save the email address in your account, and it'll recognize the phone number that it's coming from, and then also save that as an SMS text contact as well. So then you can text them. So really all you have to do is choose the list you want them saved into, And then the messaging is all written out. So you don't even have to edit that. This is just they get a confirmation after they send that text message in, letting them know that they're subscribed. And there's some verbiage about how to unsubscribe if they want. It includes a privacy policy and all the things that are required to be compliant for SMS texting. So, very quick to set up. Really, I just need to choose the list and activate it and then start giving people these instructions. So, this is good for like the in-person interactions and the printed materials. But otherwise, that's pretty much it for our demo. Let me point out a few of the other options here. And these we don't need to go through each one because they're actually kind of set up the same way. So the flyout and banner and inline, the editing process is all the same as the pop-up was. So you'll have that panel on the left, and the flyout is one, it actually slides on the screen, and then you can choose from the top, bottom, or side. And then to get that on your website, it's once again just HTML code. There's also a banner, so you could have it just like a static form at the top or bottom of your website. That one can be nice too, because then it's kind of out of the way, but still always there for them to sign up. And then inline is like, it looks exactly like the pop-up form, but instead of popping up, it's just embedded on the page. So maybe you have a tab on your website that says contact us. You could embed this form on there so that they go straight into Constant Contact. And then we already looked at those two. And then the Facebook lead ads, if you want to look into that, is here as well. This is where you create the ad, you put together like a sign up form, and then you integrate with Facebook. And then it does cost money. So you're paying Facebook to run the ad through like a Facebook ad account, but then it'll post that out to your potential audience and then get some signups that way. So if you don't have a lot of followers, this can be a good option to reach new people that aren't following you yet. But otherwise, that's it for the demo for the signup forms. Let's go ahead and wrap up, jump back into our slides, and then we can answer any questions that you have here at the end. All right, so just to summarize, to recap a few things here, the first thing to remember really is just ask. There we go. So just ask them. That's how you're going to collect their information, is giving them the opportunity to sign up. And we talked about those three places you can ask, which is in person, print, and then online. And then remember to entice them to sign up. So don't just say, join my email list and leave it at that. You can offer something. You can let them know the value of signing up. Maybe there's some sort of exclusive news that they get before anyone else. Maybe you give them updates before you post things on social media. You can kind of make it feel like an exclusive club almost they're joining, or just promotions, bonuses, anything you can think of there. And then if there's anything to start out with, there's kind of two things I would recommend. A pop-up form is a good place to start if you have a website. You saw that's pretty quick to set up, and then just get that embedded on there. And then I also like that sign up landing page, because that you can get out on social media right away and collect signups that way as well. So I would start with those two things, whichever one you think will be most beneficial to you. And then that's your next step after today. Get in there and get started with all of that. Now, we are here to help with all of this. So there is a lot of strategy behind this. And then once you actually get people signing up, there's strategy behind nurturing those new subscribers as well. So if you need help with that marketing side of things, we actually have marketing services available that can be personalized to what you're looking to do. So we have an option to just meet with a marketing coach on a monthly basis, and you can sit down and actually put together a list growth strategy together, and they can give you tips and pointers, and then you can go through the whole process of marketing. So set up, ways to follow up with those new subscribers and things like that. And we also have a couple other options actually. If you just want someone to do it for you, we have plans for that you can sign up for. If it seems like too much work, if you want someone to run an ad or create a sign up form for you or things like that, you can also do that. So let me do a pop up here to get you the link to the professional marketing services. This page will take you to all the different options. There's 3. And if you are interested or just want more information, you can fill out a little form for a free call. Someone will reach out and help you get that all set up. But otherwise, we do have some time for some questions here at the end. So type those into the Q&A tab and we can make sure to address those for sure. As you're getting this typed in, I want to recommend a webinar. It's called How to Segment Your Email List in Constant Contact. This is a good follow-up because it talks all about list segmentation. So once you actually have a list built up, there's actually a strategy behind segmenting them into various groups and targeting different groups of people to be successful when you're reaching out to these customers. So it's a full hour-long session on just segmentation, and there's different tools you can use to make that really easy in your account. So let me do another pop-up. This link will actually take you to the page with all of our webinars. So another one I would recommend is called Getting Started with Automated Messages in Constant Contact. This shows you how to set up automated emails, and something you need to set up right away along with the sign-up form is an automated welcome email. So it's important to follow up with them right away so that you reinforce your brand, your name. It'll help them remember that they signed up for your list in the first place. That's where you can put in that promotion that you offered them. It's important to start communicating with them right away. And if you can automate it, it makes it super easy. So we have a whole webinar on that. And with all these webinars, if the time doesn't work for you or the day, still sign up because we'll send you a recording automatically. And then if you attend, we also send you the recording. So either way, you'll get that content from us. Attending live is good if you can, because then you actually get to interact with the live presenter and get your questions answered. But either way, sign up for anything that's interesting to you. And we have topics on pretty much everything in Constant Contact. So I always like to plug those. But yeah, let's see what questions we have for today's session. Oh, actually, Taylor did ask about that welcome email. So how to set that up? Where is it in the account? Yeah, let's look at that. I'll pull back up the account here. Let me make the screen bigger again. So the automation and welcome emails is found actually all the way down here under automations. And then there's different templates to make it really easy to get started with this, or you can build out custom automated flows of emails and text messages you can include as well. So if I were to create an automation, the quickest way is to use a template. And I'll just briefly go over this. You can definitely sign up for that webinar if you want to get the full walkthrough. But there's this welcome basic one. So this is what I would do at a minimum, because this is just a single email. The trigger is someone subscribing to a list. So they sign up, get added in your account, and then it'll trigger this email automatically to them. And then that's where you say, thanks for signing up. Here's whatever I offered. Here's how to contact us. Here's our website, social pages, things like that. You can also do a series of emails. So this one has 3 in it. So it's kind of like a drip campaign, like a flow you're sending people through, where you can just give them as much introductory information as you want over time. So the first one could be like a thank you email, just a simple thank you, and maybe whatever offer you want them to get immediately. And then the second one could be, your contact information, feature your social media pages. And then one more could even be, is there any sort of like onboarding information they need to know to start working with you? Or tell them your story, the background of your business, just fully introduce yourself. The possibilities are endless. So at least do the basic one. But if you want to, really nurture these new people, especially if they're prospects, maybe people that haven't worked with you yet, it could be good to start having this consistent communication with them automatically. Here's a question from Lizzie. Is there a way to add a sign up for future event emails button on event sign up forms, which will automatically add the person to an email list? Yeah, there is. So if you use our events tool over here, there's actually something you can add to the registration form. I might even be able to show you an example here because we have some test ones. Let's try this one. So this is something you set up on the step where you're setting up the registration form. Let me actually go to that. And we have a whole webinar on this too, by the way, for anyone who's like, oh, what is this? On the form setup right here, you can check this box to allow registrants to opt into marketing communications. And then on this label is where you could say sign up for future event emails. And then it adds this checkbox to the form. They check the box and then they're automatically added to a list. And I always recommend people do that because you're already collecting their information. So you might as well get them subscribed so you can reach out to them in the future as well. That's a great question. I like that one. What else do we have? Travis asks, how do I upload existing contacts into my account? Yeah, we can look at that. Close out of this here. So that's actually just up here on contacts. So if you already have people that I mentioned before, if you have just like a paper at your register and people can jot down their email address, if you want to type those in, you'd come to add contacts. Add multiple contacts is how you can do more than one at a time. So if you have a good little list going, you can come in and type it all out or even copy and paste them from somewhere. That is a little bit more of, manual work. You can also upload a spreadsheet, upload from a file. So if you have a list you've maintained somewhere or you're exporting them out of like a CRM that you use, you can upload a file. And then we do actually have several integrations. I'll pull those up. And so like Salesforce, there's an integration with Google Contacts. So that's an easy way to get your Gmail contacts over. And then there's just a bunch. So you can view them all, search for any programs you use, and see if it's available. You can see some of the options listed out here. We actually do have a mobile app. One is just like our main Constant Contact app. If you search for Constant Contact on your iPhone, Apple Store, or like the Google Play Store, you can download this app. And one of the things you can do on there is upload contacts from your phone. So it'll just sync that over automatically. And then you can send emails from that app and upload pictures and check some of your reporting as well. You can't really create these sign up forms in the app. That would be more for once you're getting set up with contacts, needing to upload some contacts, sending a quick email to your list. All right. I don't see any other questions. So we can just go ahead and wrap up and I can say goodbye. If you do think of anything else, any other questions, we do have a lot of resources. If you click the question mark icon in the top right of your account, that'll bring up our help center. So there's tutorials, a whole knowledge base of FAQs, our webinars. You can get back, find those again. We do have recordings of past sessions if you'd rather just watch it right away. That's always an option. You can call and chat our support team. There's something called Ask a Trainer, where you can hop into a virtual session and actually talk to someone one on one and get further training. So, lots of good things to help you along the way. And just one more note, after the webinar ends, there's a survey that pops up. So, if you have just like 1 or 2 more minutes, there's 4 questions. I always love reading through everyone's responses and comments and feedback. So, if you have time to leave a quick survey feedback there, that would be awesome. But otherwise, thank you for joining and have a good rest of your day.